Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today I've had the amazing opportunity to be joined with Bristol City and Manchester City legend Shaun Goater. You alright, mate?
Yes, I'm very well, Ben. Weather's good here in Manchester. We don't get it too often, but thought why not sit outside
Yeah.
and have a bit of fun with this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely weather in England at the moment, isn't it? So starting it off then, when you were younger in Bermuda, did you always think you were going to become a professional footballer?
I didn't in the early stages. I didn't really think about it. It was just about loving and enjoying the game, and I'm thinking of more around the ages of 9, 10, 11. It was just really about enjoying and learning the game, improving and trying to just get into the next team. So whether that be the under 13s or the under 15s, for my club, then that's all it was. I think it was probably more around the age of 15, 16 was when I started to think I'd love to do this as a career.
Yeah. So when you did start thinking that you could become a legend in the game, how did you feel getting into the stage of playing professionally and then like leaving your family to go and play in clubs, bigger clubs, when you were still quite young as a young person?
Well, I came over to England at 18, and it was a big move because at that time, unlike today, you know, kids your age or people your age are traveling all around the world, whereas at sort of 17 back then, it wasn't a thing to do for a youngster to go live in a totally different country, stay in digs, etc. So it was a big move, but at the same time, it was something I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now, if it was the other way around, where my parents said you should go away and you should go become a professional footballer, I don't think I'd have been able to hack it. But the fact that I wanted to do it, whenever it got tough, it was something I wanted to do. So it was an easy decision to follow through.
Yeah, so as you said, you did come over to England. You played for the likes of Rotherham United. You went on loan at Notts County, and then you came to Bristol City. So, how was it like joining a club like Bristol City at that point?
Bristol was a breath of fresh air. I was really excited about it because for one, the weather, it was 2 or 3 degrees warmer. When I went down to visit Scott Davison, um, there were seagulls flying over the ground, and I was thinking, this is like Bermuda. It was this sort of day, sun out and everything, and I was thinking, this is like Bermuda. And internally, I had in my mind, I was like, I'm sold, but I couldn't let on that I was sold to him. I was just like, oh, it's rather nice here. It's rather nice. It's okay, yeah. But yeah, I was essentially sold. I just loved it. I just thought, walking through and around the city, people were friendly and happy.
Yeah.
It just gave me a real good feel good factor, walking around amongst the city. And um, so I almost knew I was going to sign within probably an hour of visiting and walking around. Yeah.
Yeah, so then you did sign and you played a fair amount of matches at Ashton Gate. So what was your best memory in a City shirt then?
Best memory. Well, it was we played a game. It was actually, I think it was the very first derby. It was for a trophy. I can't even remember it now because it was sort of a part of pre-season.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite fully fit, and I ended up scoring because we played Bristol Rovers, and that seemed to hit it off. It's amazing how I remember that game because I kept thinking I wasn't even fully fit, and the fans sort of, what you want as a player going to a new club is to hit the ground running. So I ended up scoring in that game, and for some reason that game just keeps sticking in my mind of my time. And we hadn't even kicked off in terms of all the real games, but my whole 2 years was just beautiful at Bristol. I mean, linking up with Brian Tinian,
Yep.
Greg Goodrich, Darren Barnard. Even after I left Bristol City, I kept thinking, I don't know how Brian Tinian wasn't playing at a high level because he was far better than the players I was playing with at Bristol City for certainly the first 3 years that I went to Bristol City. And I just kept thinking, I need a winger like Brian Tinian because Brian he was just so good. He was so quality. He could see the pass. He could deliver the pass. There were a number of I know you've asked me specifically for a game, but I just remember the whole time just being a great period
Yeah.
with Bristol City. I really do.
Yeah, so then after you did play at Bristol City for a number of years, you moved up north to Manchester, arguably a big move for you as a professional football player. How was it moving up north to Manchester City?
It was really hard because up until I left Bristol City, every club I'd been to, from Rotherham United to Bristol, I was the top goal scorer. Uh, so for the past 5 seasons, my last 3 seasons at Rotherham, my 2 seasons at Bristol City, I was top goal scorer. So going to Man City, I had the confidence, but the team was really struggling. The fans were actually hurling abuse at the players.
Mm.
It's so much so that in the first year, we used to warm up at a local school because it would drain our confidence in warming up. And I'd come from a club that was totally full of confidence in Bristol City,
Mm.
looking forward to getting out of the park and warming up and playing a game, to go into a place where fans would even come watch us during training and give a stick. So, that was a real learning curve, and I had to adapt mentally. But once I got over that, then it was all systems go. I was really fine and adjusted, but it was initially tough.
Yeah. So when you were playing at Manchester City, you said it was tough to start off with. And I'm guessing it did get better as it went on. What was your favourite memory in a Manchester City shirt then as well?
That that becomes easy to remember because for a number of years, Manchester United were the yardstick. They were the team that was dominating football up and down the country. And even when I was at Bristol City, playing against Manchester United would have been one of the goals to go and perform against them and show them that I could play at this level more for myself. So when the opportunity rose whilst I was at Man City, um, for me it's easy to remember because it was a huge game, it's a derby game. United normally would win against
Yeah.
Man City, and in my games that I played against them, I've had a brilliant time. I've had 3 games, one coming on a sub, 2 games where I started and scored 3 goals. So, um, and in one of the games we won, where I scored 2 goals, which ended up being my 99th and 100th goal at Man City. Um, Another goal was the quickest goal as a Premier League sub, 9 seconds. And the other game we drew. I came on for 15 minutes and we ended up drawing the game. So my record against United was pretty easy playing for Man City.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So
So when you're really lucky with you've got to play against in a Bristol derby, you've got to play a Manchester derby. Do you think they're the hardest games for a club, a derby?
yes, because they mean so much to the fans. And what you learn as a player is, you heard the cliches. Within the dressing room, they say, well, it's only 3 points. And that's just really to calm down the hypeness because for fans, it's more than 3 points. It's bragging rights. It's the ability to walk through the town center and proudly continue to wear your jersey and, say, we dominate the town, we own the town, the city, etc. So it is important. So I understand it. But as a player, you understand that whilst it's the most important games for fans, you have to stay level-headed in preparation because you can waste a lot of energy in
Yeah.
terms of thinking of the importance. And when you get out there and you get to around 65, 70 minutes, you're sort of drained because you're mentally wasted energy.
Um. Yeah. So, in your opinion, which one was the harder derby to play in, like with the pressure wise and but either the Bristol derby or the Manchester derby?
Um, Good question. I think the Manchester derby we had about 18 to 20,000. If you ask me at my mindset, if you asked me when I was at Bristol City, I would say that was very difficult. If you asked me when I was at Manchester City, I'd say it was very difficult. Derbies in general are difficult, and it's really a mindset as to how you think. You don't sort of take for granted that you're playing against a tough opposition, even though you may have been on a great run of winning 8, 9 games, and you think, well, we'll just walk the floor with them. It don't happen like that in derbies. I've always been somebody that's respected opposition. I just think that I'd say Man City only because when you're in the Premier League, there's all the expectation with the media and how it's judged.
Yeah.
But as a player, it 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 really feels the same. It's how you build it in your mind that this is a big game, and I can tell you when I was playing for Bristol City against Rovers, Bristol Rovers, it was a big game in my mind.
Yeah, so after playing for the likes of Bristol City and Manchester City, you moved on to a couple of clubs like Reading and Southend United. So how was it to move down to the lower leagues then and play for those two, like couple of teams like that?
My time at Reading, again, I still finished their top goal scorer. I was getting older, but 33, 34 when I went to Reading. Still, as I say, finished top goal scorer, but I think some of the lads when I first went there, I almost felt like here's the big signing, give the ball to him, and he can go and do it. It was like I was some Messi type of player. It's like I'm not a Messi. I need the service. So and so every time they would sort of finding me, and I would just lay the ball off, and they were just like, well, he ain't really doing anything. And I think the players didn't initially understand my game that essentially I was a finisher, and if I was provided service, then they'll get to see my real strength as opposed to give me the ball on the halfway line with my back to goal, and then think, well, go on, do it now, go and score. I was like, no, I'm not Messi. I'm far from Messi. So, but once they started to see, what I was about, then the appreciation came in terms of them being able to provide me with quality service and me scoring. But I only had one season with Reading before I spent the season not playing because the manager came in when it knew younger players. So I spent actually a lot of time going back to Manchester City because I was then starting to take up a bit of coaching, etc.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after over 500 career appearances, 200 professional goals, you did retire as well, but during that time as a professional footballer, you did also play for your country as well. So how was it like playing for your national team?
Well, it's a bit of pride. If you love it, you want to represent your country. I think today it's got more prestigiousness around it because you know when I was playing when I was playing for Bermuda, now and again we play against America, we play against the odd game against Mexico or Jamaica. Now today, because of the Nations Cup, it allows Bermuda to play
Yeah.
or advance to be able to play the better nations. Because up until the Nations Cup had changed, Bermuda would have been playing Bahamas, Virgin Island, Grenadine. These countries, without being disrespectful, I'm trying to think. We played British Virgin Island, for instance, and we had a man sent off with 15 minutes into the game, and we won the game 4-1. I scored a hat trick. So that was the quality of the opposition. But nowadays, Bermuda's now advanced. We have a few more. We have quite a few professional players, and hence why we sort of played Mexico, for instance,
Yeah.
and lost 2-1, which is a huge result. But because we're now having to have more professional players, whereas when I was playing, it was only myself and another player that played professionally.
Yeah. So it must have been great playing for your national team. And then once you did finish playing professional football, as you said, you did start getting into a bit of coaching. So how's that been then?
Well, yeah, initially it's been tough. I've moved from pursuing sort of coaching to get into management because that's really been tough. I've done programs. I do programs in schools. That's obviously because of the pandemic. That's totally slowed up until such time as that can get back. But I've also started to do mentoring. So kids
Mm.
who are sort of aspiring to be professionals between the ages of 13 and 18. I've been doing mentoring sort of Zoom sessions and giving
Yep.
them the elite knowledge, how they can improve. And also was supposed to launch my academy this September, but again, postponed that to next September because of coronavirus pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. So with your coaching and stuff, do you know anything that might be happening in the future for you? Or do you not know yet?
Well, the stuff that I'm doing in the future again is my academy. That's that's what I'm launching, and that'll be September 2021. Uh, Between now, I continue to mentor kids via Zoom sessions. I give them that real elite knowledge and information, and I also do media work.
Mm.
So doing analysis on matches in particular, a lot around Man City games.
Yeah.
So I know Man City's tactics inside out, Pep Guardiola's thinking
Yeah.
and how he does things because I see them play enough. So at this moment in time, that's what sort of keeps me busy, which I enjoy. You never say never in regards to management because it has been tough. Uh, if it was to happen, I could see me playing a role of going in alongside a management team and
Mm.
and going from there,
Yeah.
building up a number of years and going from there.
Yeah. So finally, if you did have any advice for an upcoming footballer who dreams of becoming a professional, what would that advice be?
Well, first of all, it's hard work. It isn't
Yeah.
easy. I would say surround yourself with people that believe in you and believe in your dream because people can knock you early doors to say you can't achieve that. Um, you're an average player or you're not got it, etc., etc. So surround yourself around people that have that belief in you. One of the things I also have kids do is what I call a mirroring program, and which is compete against me being a striker. I would say if it was a young kid and he was a striker, I would say, right, let's look at a striker who has identical qualities to you, and then we sort of do a competition game, like do they assist or do they score? But I also break it down. But in terms of advice, I would say start doing things like competing against the strikers that play for Bristol City, for instance,
Mm.
that have similar qualities. Now, if the kid is a tall striker but skillful and is good, for instance, in the air, he can't compete. He can't sort of say, well, I'm gonna uh, go against Naki Wells because Naki Wells
Mm.
isn't a tall striker.
Yeah.
He has to look at somebody with similar attributes. Um, and then they're competing like with like.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for coming on today. Hope you did enjoy it.
I certainly did. And thanks for having me on. And I'm sure I'll be down in Bristol sometime soon as well.
Hopefully. Cheers, guys. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I will see you all on the next one.